suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Connect the dots straight to the start of intoxicating want. Lingering touch, these soft words whispered in the dark. Set my heart on fire.
Hey guys! Give me 1 second here. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let me know if, like, the music is too loud. Can you guys, like, hear me of the music? Is it good? Let me know in the chat. That'd be super cool. Let me get in my editor here, and also... Okay, now I can see everything. We can get started. I have a lot of information here to cover. There is a lot that I've been researching on this new skin set that came out. And actually I was looking it up a little bit before it came out, but I didn't want to talk about it until it came out because I just, you know, content and time and you know the drill. So we're going to get right into that. Let me make sure my levels are all good. I think they are. Okay, cool. So, the first thing I want to start with, and I have like so many tabs up here too because I just like have so much information. I don't even know if we're going to get through all of it today, which is fine. I guess I can, like, make a second part, you know, which is always good. But what I do want to start with is the new skins and how they relate to masonry, and they go into Chinese culture and mythologies and things like that. So the very, very first thing I want to talk about is this vision. Now you may not know this. It's not a very well-known thing, but this is actually supposed to be their version of a Masonic trowel. And in case that you don't know, here, hang on, let me put up comparison pictures, because obviously you can't see anything yet. Let's put this up. You can obviously, well, I guess you can see the shovel, trowel, whatever you want to call it in the picture there. But hang on, I want to show you what the actual Masonic trowels look like. So take a good look at that trowel with the eye on it real quick. And yeah, so here's an example. This is just like, what do you call it? Like a pendant or whatever. But these are something that they give out is like, you know, I don't know really what they give out prizes for, but like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like here for your 10 years of masonry or whatever. Like they have this. So that's like a trowel. So a trowel is like what you use to spread cement. And they have like this whole thing on it. Let me bring it up here. I want to make sure that I cover everything. And I actually have these all saved here. So we're going to talk about this first. So, it's in here somewhere. I'm at the MasonicTrowel.com, which I will link below right now. You guys are going to have to bear with me here because I'm doing this live. Okay, so I added the MasonicTrowel.com below if you guys would like to check it out yourselves. And I'm going to read through it a bit here. So, Masonic quotes by brothers. It gives you a different one every time you log in, apparently. There was something about, like, it's like a symbol of like working together and like banding as brothers is like, I don't know. I don't know. There's like something about, hang on. I want to find like the exact line because I don't want to give it to you wrong. Masonic trowel meaning. Okay, so to spread the cement of brotherly love and affection, that cement which not unifies, unites us into one sacred band or society of brothers, among to whom no contention should ever exist, that noble emulation of who can best work or best agree. I don't really know what that means, but in case you're wondering what the symbolism was for the Masonic trowel, apparently you just need to spread the cement of brotherly love and affection, and it unites us into one sacred band or society of brothers, among whom no contention should ever exist, but that noble emulation of who can best work or best agree. Okay, so that's about all the information I really have on the Masonic trowel, besides the fact that they like openly give these out. Like they're just like, here's a trowel, it is Masonic. And I actually have pictures of that too. It's pretty interesting, like, that they chose like a trowel of all things to like represent like who they are, I guess. Yeah, like these. And, like, that's supposed to be, like, the seeing eye, that G. If you tilt it sideways, a lot of the time you'll see, like, Masonic symbols sideways, and it's supposed to look like an eye or, like, the all-seeing eye. But, yeah, they also have, like, the pentagram, which, you know, goes back to, like, all of the stuff about the god Saturn I was talking about. If you guys have not seen those theories, you should go check them out. They are on my channel. And, yeah, so basically, this vision harvesting tool is one of these, and it's like their way of telling you that, you know, masonry is part of their storyline here. So, I'm trying to just jump right into all of this here, but we have so much information. I want to get through a good chunk of it, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move on to the next thing here. Hang on a second. I need to get back to my page. Okay. Alright, so next thing. Oh my god, I have like a million tabs out here. I'm just trying to find a good order to do this all in. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to talk about. Can you guys see this right now? No, I need to take that off. Okay. So another thing is this equilibrium. I mean, I think everybody pretty much understands like what an equilibrium is at this point. Perfectly balanced, it says right there. So yeah, I don't really know why they chose this design in particular. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But anyway, I would like to continue on to the other skins. So this guy was giving me a hard time, okay? I had to look up all kinds of, like, symbolism and hexagrams and I Ching, and I know what it says on him now, okay? So these, like, little square things are actually a, kind of like a language, or, like, they symbolize certain things, and I would like to go over that now. Let me just... I have to get to it. I have so many tabs open, so I'm kind of, like, clicking through and trying to find the right one. Let's see here. I think that was like the last thing I looked up. Yes. Okay, so the X's on his face, on the talisman. I wasn't sure like what those were. The closest thing I could find was like a Japanese emblem, which means Niwa, and I couldn't figure out what that means. I had a really difficult time because I guess there's like a professional tennis player named Niwa from Japan, so it just like screwed up all of the search results. And yeah, so anyway, this thing on his face is a talisman. A lot of them mean good luck, or they're supposed to be protection from certain things or whatever. This like squiggle down the front of it, the top of it, right under the hood there, is it's supposed to symbolize the coins and nodding, the Chinese nodding. How it's like also a good luck symbol, and I'll see if I can get a picture of that. It's supposed to symbolize like these kind of things. Give me a sec. Like these. Oh, why isn't it showing up? Okay, that's weird. Let's see if I have another one. So they use these as like good luck charms, or like to ward off, like, I don't know if it's like evil spirits or just like bad karma or something. Where is this page? Oh my god, you guys, I have so many tabs open. Oh, I guess I could show you this. So, I think it's actually Taoist. Let's save this image and get it up here to show you guys. Uh-oh. That's not good. Something ain't right with my OBS right now. Crap. Oh man, don't tell me I have too many tabs open. It's making it go all crazy. Alright, well, I don't know what's going on with that. We're gonna just have to continue, I guess, without pictures. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this without that, but, oh no. Give me a second here. Okay, well, I can't show you guys any more pictures, so I'm just gonna have to explain this to you guys. Unfortunately, I have absolutely no way to... Oh, you know what? Maybe this is it. Nope, that won't do it either. Okay. For some reason, it won't close, like, the settings for image, in my OBS, so we're gonna just have to wing it here. It's all about these guys anyway. So we're gonna start with, talking about the talismans. You guys have seen them, though. If I show it to you guys, you'd be familiar with how it looks. It's, like a red, string or ribbon, and it's knotted in, like, a very symmetrical, like, pretty way. And they put, like, coins in it, and it's supposed to be, like, a good luck type thing. Now, common components of Taoist talismans, it shows that, that they also, this, oh god, I hope that you can at least, you probably can't even see my thing, my mouse, but, on his face here, there is, like, an outline. There's, like, a red outline inside of the, like, yellow here that's, like, surrounding everything below. And that is actually called an earth column and a sky column. And they represent, different elements. So, we have a sky and an earth column here. And it looks pretty much the same as this Taoist talisman. The only difference is instead of talisman stars, what we have here is 2 X's and a cube. It's Kevin. Kevin is present. He is here. He is down to play the game. He is, you know, he's there. He's hanging out. So I don't really know what this means. The only thing I can really think an X would mean would be like no, or like, I don't know. But because this guy is called, what is it, Paradox? I don't know, guys. What do you think? What do you think that means? Like, I don't know. And I couldn't find anything for the arrows. These arrows going up that look kind of like feathered or whatever. There's really nothing on that either. So I was like really confused by that. I do think I found something similar, but it like wasn't even like remotely close to what I was looking for. As for his back bling, he has this like symbol on it. This is called Eternal. And it says it's unbounded, right? But this symbol here, it's similar to a few different symbols that I found, but it's kind of its own thing. Like, I think Fortnite was like, let's make our own version of this kind of a thing, because that's not actually like the symbol. So I'm not really sure how to determine that. But then there's another language, which are these side things on his arm, these lines. As you see, they're different on both sides. And I actually have the translation for those, which I will bring up right now. Okay, so the one on his back, which is this really big one, right? It's got 6 tiers to it. This one is called number 62, hexagram 62, and it's exit. And it says 1 checks before going out. That's what it says. And then I guess it's kind of like a storyline. Like the way that they work is like each line tells part of a story. So this is what this story in particular means. So line 1 means 1 accepts to examine the weakest in order to know if one must continue with others until they are ready. Which is kind of funny for Fortnite because like we do wait until others are ready to like play. Like if they're in your party, you sit and you wait for them to be ready. So that was kind of funny. Line number 2, 1 is departing from the best. I don't know what that means. 1 is departing from the best. I don't know what step that would be, but that's what it means. Line number 3 means 1 asks the most able to assess the repairs. 1 asks the most able to assess the repairs. The only thing that I can think of is like your building or something, like you can repair your walls and stuff, but like I don't, maybe they're talking about all of the damaged buildings that have, you know, gotten destroyed in the events of Fortnite. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. Then line 4 is one gives way. This kind of goes with the theory that perhaps the iceberg is going to melt to the point where the castle is going to fall off of the top of the iceberg and give way and, perhaps cause some kind of large wave or something like that if the water has melted to a certain point. But yeah, so then line 5, one fixes an issue by seeking far away help. This is interesting because we just got some far away help. If they are help. Actually, it kind of seemed like they were attacking us now that I think about it. And Saturn is not a very nice guy. He's known for eating his children and, stuff like that. So I don't really know how that really goes. But anyway, we did get Ark, and she seems to be far away help if she's like an angel or a spirit or whatever she is. She seems to be of a different species because she has wings, and obviously the people here don't really have wings. So I don't know. And then we also had the fairy too, which seems like it would be far away help as well. Like, when have we had fairies? Like, never. Line 6 is when one goes too far, others withdraw, and one breaks something. One goes too far, others withdraw, and one breaks something. This is a story that Fortnite just told us on the back of a character. This guy, right here. That's what his back means. And then, of course, the yin-yang means harmony, balance, peace, that kind of thing. But yeah, so these, like, line things on the back of him, that's what it means. And, it's actually really interesting if you guys look into these hexagrams and stuff, because each symbol will tell a whole entire story. Like, these 6 lines here tell an entire story. It's actually pretty cool. It'd be a great way to, like, if you're reading a book, you could just, like, write a random assortment of them if you don't know them very well or something, and you could, like, get the storyline for your book or whatever. Just, like, right then. But yeah, so there's, like, shorter ones, obviously, on his arm there. And I do have something for that as well. Where is that at? Those ones were... Okay. So, the one on his arm here is, that one means earth. That one means earth there on his arm. And then this one means heaven. So again, with the columns for heaven and earth on his talisman, we must have been pretty right on that, because it also translates to heaven and earth on his shoulders. So, I think we've got the right idea here, guys. And then the Ouroboros. Now, the reason this is called the Ouroboros set, as you may know, is because of this dragon or serpent on his chest. This serpent is actually popular in Nordic mythology as well. A snake-like serpent dragon. And when found eating the end of its tail, it symbolizes eternity and infinity, etc. I don't know why it keeps making that noise. But, yeah, so if you guys were curious about that. Now, I kind of fell down a rabbit hole because one of the things that was, like, really bothering me about her is the bear. She has a freaking teddy bear, guys. I'm telling you, there is something with these bears. I am not even joking with you. There are bears everywhere, and this stuff is, like, getting to me. Like, there's like, a bear apocalypse about to happen. I'm not even joking. Like, the teddy bears are gonna come to life and kill us all. Like, okay, maybe not, like, the most stable theory, but I'm telling you, there's something to do with these bears, and it is just killing me that I'm not, like, on top of it. Now, there is one thing that I found that I thought was really interesting. I mean, it's a little far-fetched. It's not, like, super well-known, but, I mean, I'd say it's pretty well-known. Like, it is a folklore, and I call it a folklore because it is not a mythology. It's not based on a mythology. It is kind of its own thing. It's written by a nonfiction author. It's, it's a folktale. It's like, like Little Red Riding Hood or, what do you call that thing now? El Chupacabra. It's like that kind of a thing, right? So it's actually called the Toonbach. And, you guys may have seen it in the thumbnail. It is basically a hybrid between a polar bear and a Loch Ness dragon, like a Loch Ness monster reptile of water, if that makes sense. If you guys look up the Toonbach, it's actually spelled like this. Let me go into the chat and I will type it in. There is actually a whole lot of there's like a whole lot of information on the Toonbach. It's really interesting too, because it's kind of like a monster you never ever hear about ever. Like, I never heard about it until I was looking this stuff up and found it and was like, what in the heck is a Toonbach? But yeah, like a Toonbach is like this crazy creature. I actually have an article up here, but they made like a brand new TV show on, I want to say, oh man, ACM maybe? I think ACM, is that a channel? I think, yeah. But they just made, or AMC. Oh my god, I'm so dyslexic, you guys. I'm so dyslexic. Wow. Okay, AMC... The Terror is actually based on the folklore of the Toonbach. So if you guys have ever seen The Terror and you know what I'm talking about, that is where that came from. And it's kind of interesting because it seems like, you know, this is kind of more of like a European thing, like a English type of thing as well. So, yeah, very interesting. I don't really have a lot of information on that. I still have some more research to do on it. But it's definitely like one of those things that, you know, is kind of like creepy and weird. And I'm going to read some of, oops, I just exited on accident. But yeah, so I had like a definition of like what a Toonbach was. Like I said, I'm doing this live. You guys gotta give me a break here for a minute. Yes, here we go. Okay, so. Yeah, it's based on a Dan Simmons novel called The Terror. And it says, demon polar bear. In this case, both Arctic and Turnbach destroy those who want to appropriate the ice for their own purposes? What? They want to attack people from appropriating the ice for their own purposes. Okay. I feel like somebody should warn the people who are harvesting ice in Frozen. Like, they are in danger. They need to stop what they're doing right now. The Broken Lands and the Terror, 2 novels about the Franklin expedition. Poisoned by the Kablunas, pale souls, the Toonbach would sicken and die. I don't know what these... I think these are all from the Terror. But The Broken Lands and the Terror, 2 novels about the Franklin expedition. Although I can see that what Simmons was attempting to do with the Toonbach, he never justifies its presence as the plot element. Okay, so this is kind of like a review of the book, I guess somebody read. Yeah, it's especially frightening, he says. Perhaps it becomes the love of a child, or the love child of a herald? I don't really know. Love child of a herald. And the Yeti. Hold on. Hold on. It is the love child of the herald. Am I right about this? Hang on. What is a herald? I must look up the definition before I say words. A herald is a personal name derived from an Old English name, Herwald, derived from the Germanic elements here are army and wield power, leader, and ruler. I don't know what that sentence was, but that's what it says. The Old Norse cognate Haraldr, Norse. Oh, hey, look at that. Was also common among settlers in the Danelaw. Huh. It's interesting that that goes back to the Norse mythology again. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's about. But anyway, we're gonna continue. I was looking into, like, bear stuff. I couldn't really find anything except for the stuff about the Toonbach. And I'm like, what in the heck is a Toonbach? And, I kept finding all these pictures online, and they look like the Loch Ness Monster, but they're, like, but they, like, have bear heads. Or, like, it'll be, like, a bear with, like, a super, super long neck and it can swim. Or, like, sometimes they're depicted as, like, just mostly bears with just, like, slightly long necks, but, like, still pretty much just a bear. In the show, from what I've seen, they kind of humanized it a little bit in the face. I don't really know what that was about. It was a little bit different than any pictures I'd seen of it before, so they kind of went somewhere else with that. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, there's, like, a whole series on it right now, and it, like, is, like, an ongoing series, like, now. Like, right now. But anyway, the Smithsonian magazine and stuff has, like, a whole article on it, and, it's super interesting stuff. I don't want to get too into it. That's not, like, really the main thing about this video. But, yeah, I just thought that maybe you guys should learn about the Toonbach or whatever, because I thought it was really interesting, and it was a, like, creature I never heard of. And also it ties back into, like, this Norse mythology stuff, too, and I don't know, it's just real nuts. It's real nuts, guys. I don't even know. So yeah, moving on. What did I have next here? Oh yeah, so the geisha part of it. I don't know why they went with the geisha. She's like a kawaii geisha, like punk rock. She's like a gothic punk rock geisha. I don't know. But I didn't like what they had to say about it in Wikipedia. It's saying, like, either the Eastern equivalent of a prostitute, a misconception originating in the West due to interactions with Japanese courtesans who the traditional attire is similar to that of a geisha. But, like, why did they say that they were equivalent to the prostitute if they're, like, not, though? Like, just why even mention that fact? I don't know. Anyway, Japanese women who entertain through performing the ancient traditions of art, dance, and singing, and are distinctively characterized by traditional costumes and makeup. I'm sure everybody is familiar with this, or maybe you've seen the movie Mulan, you understand a little bit of it. But yeah, so that's basically what is up with her makeup here, is I think that she is just portraying the Chinese geisha, or perhaps Japanese. I'm not really sure. I think both can do the geisha thing. Don't hold me to that, because I'm not sure. Let me look this up. Chinese geisha. Because I feel like it would be Chinese just because of all of the other stuff portraying Japanese culture, like the hexagrams and stuff. It's like Chinese I Ching. Yeah. You can, it says some here, like, people would go to Japan from China to become a geisha in Shimoda. That's interesting. I don't know, there's a lot of different articles on it, and I'm not really super familiar with it all. I mean, obviously I've found a lot of information today, so it's like, I want to get through a lot of this, but if you guys were wondering about her makeup, it does seem to be a geisha, so I would assume that she is a very good singer and dancer and knows all of the traditions, so keep an eye out on this one. But, yeah, the bear is tripping me up. What is with you, bear? You are evil, and I don't know what is up with you and your friends, but I'm gonna figure it out. So anyway, moving on. What else did I have here? Oh yeah, I thought it was interesting that they brought back the storm glider, mostly because it has another message on it, kind of. It's a vendor tech model, TMX model. I can't read the model number. I think it's 14872-891. I can't read the rest of it, but I was looking at that and wondering if perhaps they're like trying to hint that there's going to be more vendor tech type contraptions or something. I don't really know, but Vendor Tech is like known in Save the World as like a company that makes like particular guns and weapons and stuff. And who made the Vendor Tech llama. But yeah, so anyway, I just thought that that was interesting how they bring out a lot of the item shop stuff. The Cloud Strike, that's what it's called. But yeah, see how it has those like little padded things underneath there? It's similar to those ones that are in, what was it? It was the Equalizer. How the Equalizer says, like, warning, bomb went off, or whatever it says. So yeah, it's, like, similar to that, but except for it's, like, just says, like, Vendor Tech model whatever on it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then, what else have we got here? I think there was something in this. Vendor Tech makes grenades, clingers, and the theory is that they are behind the bunkers in Dusty Divot Research Lab. So that's interesting fact that somebody said because, thank you, Burn427 on the forums of Game Potato. But that's an interesting theory because if that's true, then that means that they're back. And then putting the glider in there is kind of almost like them being like, oh, hey, we noticed that you guys just recognized the clue on the Equalizer. Here's another one with another clue. And it says Vendor Tech. So we do know that there is a new bunker hidden underneath of that big ice slab in, what is it? I think it's in Frosty Flights technically, but it's like that little island off of the coast with the giant ice in the middle, and it has the little shed with the rift underneath of it. I think that perhaps maybe they could be telling us that Vendor Tech is also responsible for this bunker as well, and they already know about this like whole frosted land and like wherever they came from, and it's basically like them being like, hey, don't worry, like, we got tabs on these guys too. Like, they aren't like exempt from like whatever it is that we're doing on this island, you know. But yeah, I just thought that was like super, super interesting. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, I was just looking into Cronus and Titans. I have a theory. Now, they keep bringing up all of these food fight people, right? Like the Grill Sergeant, and they have, you know, Durburger and Pizza Papalis, or whatever it's called. I think it's called Pizza Papalis. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, so what's interesting is you guys have noticed, I've talked about this before, when I go into games and I would go to Greasy Grove, I would always look at the sign and be like, why is it $68 for a hamburger? Who pays $68 for a hamburger? Like, this is a fast food restaurant and you're selling hamburgers for $68. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Nobody is going to pay you. And pretty much everything on their menu is really expensive. And it got me thinking, well, like, hey, there isn't that many places on the map that are growing vegetables. But there are also just no animals. Like, we see, like, the remains of animals, like, maybe, like, the deer heads hanging on the walls, or, like, you know, the fish, stuffed fish things that dance or whatever. But you don't ever see animals. Like, you don't see birds, you don't see deer, you don't see ducks. Like, there's no animals. So what in the hell are in those burgers? Okay? What the hell are in those burgers? I need to know for, like, me to feel sane as a person. Like, please tell me. Please tell me you are not eating your dead. Okay? Because here's the thing. If you play Save the World and you go to any of the places that have coffins or graves and you search them, sometimes you find bacon. Bacon in people's graves. Bacon. Please explain this to me. If they are not eating each other, what the hell are they eating? There's some serious cannibalism problems happening in Fortnite, okay? And it needs to stop. They need to bring back the animals and the vegetation, okay? Because this eating each other, it's just not cool, okay? I understand that this is a fight to the death and you don't know what to do with the bodies, but you can't just open a food chain and start selling parts of their bodies as food. That's not how it works, okay? That's not right, okay? Now, one theory I had was like, hey, you know, they are mentioning all of these, like, or kind of like giving a tip of the hat to certain gods and goddesses and things like that. And obviously Cronus is another version of Saturn. And now Saturn gets brought up all the time because of the cube and the hexagons and all that stuff. But yeah, so Cronus version of Saturn is Cronus sired the Olympias Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. His wife's sister Rhea. Since Cronus had ruined his father Uranus and feared the child would do his name, he sought to prevent it by eating his children one at a time when they were born. And this is what I was telling you about how he's known for eating his children. That's that story. But what's interesting is you move on to Titans, and it says, the other Titans, besides Cronus, shared with him a taste for humanoid flesh. The Titans dismembered the god Dionysus when he was just a baby and ate him, but not before Athena rescued his heart, which Zeus used to resurrect the god. Now this is interesting, because if everybody on our planet is a Titan, and we're not actually human, it would make sense that they would eat each other, because it seems like they live in a place where, like, the world is kind of ending, and Titans have this taste for humanoid flesh, and it's like, it's normal among the gods. This is like a casual thing, you know? People just eating each other. That's just how it is in the Titan world, apparently. But, like, if you consider for a second that maybe the world of Fortnite is the world of Titans, and we actually aren't humans, we're just Titans, then it would make sense that we're just, you know, slaughtering each other and eating each other, because that actually happened a lot in mythology. Just people killing and eating each other, or feeding each other's peoples to each other. I don't really know. But yeah, there's like a lot of cannibalism. I'm looking at a page right now that has over 30 different gods and goddesses that started cannibalism. So, you know, just as something to keep in the back of your mind, next time you see one of those trucks,
I hope so.
maybe look for the clues. If you find one, drop it my way. Let me know what's going on with that, because I'm pretty convinced here, that they're eating each other to survive. Which, I mean, I get it. You gotta survive. There's no vegetables. You don't want to eat the trees. So, like, what can you do besides eat each other? But, like, this is a serious theory, you guys, because why else would a burger be $68? Think about it. Why would a burger be $68 at a fast food restaurant? It's because they are people burgers. Yum. People. So there you go. There is my theory on cannibalism in Fortnite. In case you were wondering what was up with those prices, because I know I was. Yeah, some real interesting stuff, guys. Real interesting stuff. Now, I did find another, what was it? Like a hexagram story, but it was like really different, and I don't really think that I can follow it because it's like really long. But if you guys want to check that out, I am going to post it below. I'm actually going to post a lot of these below. I'm going to do that super quick here. I'm just going to go in and add all of these links, so if you guys want to check some of this stuff out yourselves, you can do that. So I'm going to put the Masonic stuff here. I'm going to put, let's see, the I Ching stuff. Yes, and oh my gosh. I'm only going to share like a handful of these because there's so many. Definitely got to share the thing about the terror, because that's interesting with the turnback. Who would have thought? A bear, dragon, sea creature. Good times, good times. Who would have thought that was a thing? But it is! Bear, dragon, sea creature. Y'all better look out. I'm gonna be attacked by bear, dragon, sea creatures in the very near future. Not to be confused with the man, bear, pig. It's totally different. Let's see. Cannibals. We'll share that one. You guys are probably interested in the cannibalism, right? Okay. What else we got here? We got the... Oh yeah, the I Chings. Let's get them I Chings in here. Okay, so this is for the short I Ching. And this... Where'd it go? Is for the long I Chings. But yeah. So that's some interesting information there, guys. You should check it out. I just saved changes. It should be in the description when you refresh the page now. But yeah. I did want to get into some actual gameplay. I just want to make sure that I've gotten through everything that I was going to cover here. I think that I did. I'm pretty sure that I did. Oh, I thought that it was a fun fact that apparently the god Saturn has been called the Lord of the Rings, and so it like inspired the actual like book series, The Lord of the Rings, I guess. And now a lot of people know that that's like where that came from. Saturn has also been symbolized by the the black cube. Remnant from the ancient worship of El, which can be seen today in different parts of the world, like for example the sacred cube at Mecca, where Muslims make their pilgrimage. University graduates wear black robes symbolizing God Saturn, and cap Masons mortarboard. Again, with the Masons love Saturn. Like, they don't even know how much they love Saturn. Like, they love Saturn. They love it. They love everything about it. They're all about the hexagons and the pentagrams and the cubes. They're on all of that. Like, that's what the Masons are spending their time doing, is they're like, yeah, Saturn is awesome. Like, that's literally what they do with their lives. But yeah. I think that is about it. Oh yeah. Okay. There's one last thing. So I found this cult, right? Okay, I actually did find a cult. But yeah, so there's this book written by David Icke, and it's called Remember Who You Are, Remember Where You Are, and Remember Where You Came From. Remember talks about the connection between the planet Saturn and the Earth's moon. It says, I find information that is out there, so to speak, but the most interesting and thought-provoking material to read is here. Even though David's content is something you won't read, see, or hear in the mainstream, don't let it deter you from allowing yourself the exposure to it. It says, the truth is most people aren't ready for beliefs, ideas, theories, and even facts that are outside their comfort zone. That's alright when you are willing to be open to something. It will come to you. throughout the post, I will add some of my affiliate Amazon links and books and movies, blah, 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 blah. Self-promotion. What I am presenting here is information. That is all. Do with it what you like. And then it says, the questions entertained in this post are, is Saturn transmitting a frequency to Earth, creating a matrix of illusions? Hold on. I want you to take a moment. Go back to the last event. Not the New Year's event. The last big actual event. Okay? Do you remember what event that was? The Matrix? Where we ended up in a weird, like, white matrix of, like, these weird pipes and stuff, right? Could that have been that matrix of illusions? Could that be Saturn transmitting a frequency to Earth, creating a matrix of illusions? Is the moon a part of this? Can we do anything about it? Who's really controlling the things on this planet and of Earth and beyond? And again, we're talking about the heaven and earth thing again, which goes back to the skin and the translation of heaven and earth all over his body. And then we have the Reptilian Alliance. Okay, I'm sure you guys have heard of these people that, like, they, like, really believe that, like, reptilians are, like, a race hiding on Earth as humans. Like, they're hiding in, like, people's skin and pretending to be people. Like, that's, like, people really believe this stuff. This is, like, a thing, like, people are serious about. Like, they actually think, like, Hillary Clinton is a reptile. Like, a reptilian, like, overlord or something. I'm not kidding. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but people actually believe this shit. So, anyway, we're going to be talking about that a little bit, and it's interesting because some of this kind of goes into, like, the Saturn mythology theory that I had, and also some of, like, the Fortnite stuff, and it looks like we actually just updated our store, too, so we've got, the Nog Ops is back for, like, a 4th time. I don't know what's up with that. And then we have the Yuletide Ranger again. Why is this, like, showing up so much? Like, we're over it, okay? We got it. It's good. Like, whatever. Anyway, what else have we got? Recon Specialist. Scoundrel. Ooh. If only they had the Jailbird, I would have gotten that. That is one I want to get eventually. The girl one. I don't know what she's called. I think she's called Jailbird, but I don't really know. Oh, no, it's part of the Jailbird set. Okay, that's where I got that from. Excuse me. I must have a drink of water. I've been talking nonstop. I like how I said water, but I really just drank soda. So yeah. I would like to read some of this. Then reptilians genetically engineer a new species that is designed to be tuned into their false reality, their matrix, and the planet is hijacked along with the perception of the people. They have done this done this to Earth and humanity, and their means of doing so are Saturn and the moon. Okay, I have to tell you guys, though, as I'm reading this, you should probably know that this person believes in this. This person, they believe that the reptilians have come from Saturn, and they're going to take over the world. But seriously, just know that, like, this is not me being like, I believe in reptilians. This is like, I'm reading somebody who does believe. Okay? So, continuing. But anyway, they've done exactly this to Earth and humanity, and their means of doing so are Saturn and the moon. Saturn, the Lord of the Rings, is the master control center. I mean, just look at Saturn with all its rings. Saturn is a ginormous broadcasting system, and they will eventually find that the rings are full of crystals rather than ice, a type of crystal that we aren't familiar with on Earth. The rings are not natural, and at one time Saturn was a conventional brown dwarf. It had no rings. Actually, it's turning into something else as well, because the rings are actually disappearing. Fun fact. Read it on NASA like a week ago. But anyway, continuing. They have been constructed by technology-obsessed Reptilian Alliance. Funnily enough, as I think about it, an insider once told me of a photograph he had seen of incredibly large spacecraft that appeared to be repairing one of Saturn's rings. The process is ongoing, and they are continuing to construct others. I'm dead. Like, people really believe this. Like, this is a thing. And I don't know if they plan on going into this or not, but it's definitely, like, really interesting. And I can see, like, why they would do it in, like, a fantasy kind of setting, but, like, there are people that, like, actually think this is legit. I'm going to continue, as crazy as it sounds. In 2009, NASA announced that its Spitzer Space Telescope had discovered another ring circling Saturn from a distance of 3.7 miles and going out to 7.4 million. It is also big, it is so big that it would take 1 billion of Earths to fill it. So 1 billion of Earth. Like Earth, but like 1 billion times. Some scientists say that Saturn's rings were created by debris and a disintegrated moon. Okay. But how could that ring form 3.7 million miles away from Saturn that could hold 1 billion Earths? Saturn broadcasting system extends throughout the solar system, but most of it is not visible on frequencies. I don't know. There's like a lot of like crazy claims in here. But yeah, if you guys want to read through that, I am also going to link that below. It's just a little extra, you know? Like, I don't really think that this, I think it's interesting, but I don't think like reptiles are like taking over the world or anything. You know? So yeah, some interesting theories there for you guys on that. And of course, as you guys know, I did make more stuff about the cube and Saturn in my previous videos. So if you guys check those out on my channel, you will pretty much get the scope of that and what that's all about. And also, if you guys have liked this video so far, please give it a big thumbs up. That would mean so much to me. I've done a lot of research and I've, you know, tried to decode all of this stuff for you guys, for your entertainment, and also for our ability to maybe solve some of this and predict some of it based on mythology and what people have done in the past, because we like to repeat ourselves and we like to steal storyline from mythology and gaming. So, you know, it makes sense that we look this stuff up and know this stuff, and maybe it'll even help you with some of the other games that you're playing. Maybe it'll relate to some of the other, you know, some of the other storylines and some of the other games that you're playing as well. But I really like to do these and just kind of get a collective, like, just good chunk of, like, information that I could put out there, and then, you know, once I have put the information out there, we can kind of like mold different theories from that together, which I think has been pretty fun so far, and you guys voted that you are enjoying it, so we're going to continue doing that at the beginning of my streams. But for now, I would like to actually jump into some gameplay, because I did buy